Jeremias, chapters 20 through 22. Now Paschor, the son of Immer, the priest, who also had been appointed chief of the house of the Lord, heard Jeremias prophesying these words. And he smote him, and cast him into the dungeon which was by the gate of the upper house that was set apart, which was by the house of the Lord. And Paschor brought Jeremias out of the dungeon. And Jeremias said to him, The Lord has not called thy name Paschor, but Exile. For thus saith the Lord, Behold, I will give thee up to captivity with all thy friends, and they shall fall by the sword of their enemies, and thine eyes shall see it. And I will give thee and all Judah into the hands of the king of Babylon, and they shall carry them captives, and cut them in pieces with swords. And I will give all the strength of the city, and all the labors of it, and all the treasures of the king of Judah into the hands of his enemies, and they shall bring them to Babylon. And thou and all the dwellers in thine house shall go into captivity, and thou shalt die in Babylon. And there thou and all thy friends shall be buried, to whom thou hast prophesied lies. Thou hast deceived me, O Lord, and I have been deceived. Thou hast been strong, and hast prevailed. I am become a laughingstock, and am continually mocked every day. For I will laugh with my bitter speech. I will call upon rebellion and misery. For the word of the Lord is become a reproach to me, and a mockery all my days. Then I said, I will by no means name the name of the Lord, and will no more at all speak his name. But it was as burning fire flaming in my bones, and I am utterly weakened on all sides, and cannot bear up. For I have heard the reproach of many gathering round, saying, Conspire ye, and let us conspire together against him, even all his friends. Watch his intentions, if perhaps he shall be deceived, and we shall prevail against him, and we shall be avenged on him. But the Lord was with me as a mighty man of war. Therefore they persecuted me, but could not perceive anything against me. For they were greatly confounded, for they perceived not their disgrace, which shall never be forgotten. O Lord, that provest just deeds, understanding their reins and hearts, let me see thy vengeance upon them, for to thee I have revealed my cause. Sing ye to the Lord, sing praise to him, for he has rescued the soul of the poor from the hand of evildoers. Cursed be the day wherein I was born, the day wherein my brother brought me forth. Let it not be blessed. Cursed be the man who brought the glad tidings to my father, saying, A male child is born to thee. Let that man rejoice as the cities which the Lord overthrew in wrath, and repented not. Let him hear crying in the morning, and loud lamentation at noon. Because he slew me not in the womb, and my mother became not my tomb, and her womb always great with me. Why is it that I came forth of the womb to see the troubles and distresses, and my days are spent in shame? The word that came from the Lord to Jeremias, when King Zedekias sent to him Paschor the son of Melchias, and Sophonias son of Besaias the priest, saying, Inquire of the Lord for us, for the king of Babylon has risen up against us. If the Lord will do according to all his wonderful works, and the king shall depart from us. And Jeremias said to them, Thus shall ye say to Zedekias king of Judah, Thus saith the Lord, Behold, I will turn back the weapons of war, wherewith ye fight against the Chaldeans that have besieged you from the outside wall. And I will gather them into the midst of this city, and I will fight against you with an outstretched hand, and with a strong arm, with wrath and great anger. And I will smite all the dwellers in this city, both men and cattle, with grievous pestilence. And they shall die. And after this, thus saith the Lord, I will give Zedekias, king of Judah, and his servants, and the people that is left in this city from the pestilence, and from the famine, and from the sword, into the hands of their enemies, that seek their lives, and they shall cut them in pieces with the edge of the sword. I will not spare them, and I will not have compassion upon them. And thou shalt say to this people, Thus saith the Lord, Behold, I have set before you the way of life, and the way of death. He that remains in the city shall die by the sword, and by famine. But he that goes forth to advance to the Chaldeans that have besieged you shall live, and his life shall be to him for a spoil, and he shall live. For I set my face against this city for evil, and not for good. It shall be delivered into the hands of the king of Babylon, and he shall consume it with fire. O house of the king of Judah, hear ye the word of the Lord. O house of David, thus saith the Lord, Judge judgment in the morning, and act rightly, and rescue the spoiled one from the hand of him that wrongs him, lest mine anger be kindled like fire, and it burn, and there be none to quench it. Behold, I am against thee that dwellest in the valley of Sor, in the plain country, even against them that say, Who shall alarm us? Or who shall enter into our habitation? And I will kindle a fire in the forest thereof, and it shall devour all things round about it. Thus saith the Lord, Go thou, and go down to the house of the king of Judah, and thou shalt speak there this word, and thou shalt say, Hear the word of the Lord, O king of Judah, that sittest on the throne of David. Thou and thy house and thy people, and they that go in at these gates. Thus saith the Lord, Execute ye judgments and justice, and rescue the spoiled out of the hand of him that wrongs him, and oppress not the stranger, and orphan, and widow, and sin not, and shed no innocent blood in this place. For if ye will indeed perform this word, then shall there enter in by the gates of this house kings sitting upon the throne of David, and riding on chariots and horses, they and their servants and their people. But if ye will not perform these words, by myself have I sworn, saith the Lord, that this house shall be brought to desolation. For thus saith the Lord concerning the house of the king of Judah, Thou art Gilead to me, and the head of Libanus. Yet surely I will make thee a desert, even cities that shall not be inhabited. And I will bring upon thee a destroying man, and his axe, and they shall cut down thy choice cedars, and cast them into the fire. And nation shall pass through this city, and each day shall say to his neighbor, Why has the Lord done thus to this great city? And they shall say, Because they forsook the covenant of the Lord their God, and worshipped strange gods, and served them. Weep not for the dead, nor lament for him. Weep bitterly for him that goes away, for he shall return no more, nor see his native land. For thus saith the Lord concerning Salem, the son of Josias, who reigns in the place of Josias his father, who has gone forth out of his place. He shall not return thither any more. But in that place whither I have carried him captive, there shall he die, and shall see this land no more. He that builds his house not with justice, and his upper chambers not with judgment, who works by means of his neighbor for nothing, and will by no means give him his reward. Thou hast built for thyself a well-proportioned house, airy chambers, fitted with windows, and wainscoted with cedar, and painted with vermilion. Shalt thou reign, because thou art provoked with thy father Achaz? They shall not eat, and they shall not drink. It is better for thee to execute judgment and justice. They understood not. They judged not to the cause of the afflicted, nor the cause of the poor. Is not this thy not knowing me, saith the Lord? Behold, thine eyes are not good, nor thine heart, but they go after thy covetousness, and after the innocent blood to shed it, and after acts of injustice and slaughter to commit them. Therefore, thus saith the Lord, concerning Joachim, son of Josias, king of Judah, even concerning this man, they shall not bewail him, saying, Ah, brother, neither shall they at all weep for him, saying, Alas, Lord. He shall be buried with the burial of an ass. He shall be dragged roughly along, and cast outside the gate of Jerusalem. Go up to Libanus, and cry, and utter thy voice to Basan, and cry aloud to the extremity of the sea. For all thy lovers are destroyed. I spoke to thee on occasion of thy trespass, but thou saidst, I will not hearken. This has been thy way from thy youth. Thou hast not hearkened to my voice. The wind shall tend to all thy shepherds, and thy lovers shall go into captivity. For then shalt thou be ashamed and disgraced because of all thy lovers. O thou that dwellest in Libanus, making thy nest in the cedars, thou shalt groan heavily, when pangs as of a travailing woman are come upon thee. As I live, saith the Lord, though Jeconias, son of Joachim, king of Judah, were indeed the seal upon my right hand, thence would I pluck thee. And I will deliver thee into the hands of them that seek thy life, before whom thou art afraid, into the hands of the Chaldeans. And I will cast forth thee and thy mother that bore thee into a land where thou wast not born, and there ye shall die. But they shall by no means return to the land which they long for in their souls. Jeconias is dishonored as a good-for-nothing vessel, for he is thrown out and cast forth into a land which he knew not. Land, land, hear the word of the Lord. Write ye this man, an outcast. For there shall none of his seed at all grow up to sit on the throne of David, or as a prince yet in Judah. The Epistle of St. Paul the Apostle to the Hebrews, chapter 12. Wherefore, seeing we also are compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight, and the sin which doth so easily beset us, and let us run with patience the race that is set before us. Looking unto Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is set down at the right hand of the throne of God. For consider him that endured such a contradiction of sinners against himself, lest ye be wearied and faint in your minds. Ye have not yet resisted unto blood, striving against sin. And ye have forgotten the exhortation which speaketh unto you as unto children. My son, despise not thou the chastening of the Lord, nor faint when thou art rebuked of him. For whom the Lord loveth he chasteneth, and scourgeth every son whom he receiveth. If ye endure chastening, God dealeth with you as with sons. For what son is he whom the Father chasteneth not? But if ye be without chastisement, whereof all are partakers, then are ye bastards, and not sons. Furthermore, we have had fathers of our flesh which corrected us, and we gave them reverence. Shall we not much rather be in subjection unto the Father of spirits, and live? For they barely for a few days chastened us after their own pleasure, but he for our profit, that we might be partakers of his holiness. Now no chastening for the present seemeth to be joyous, but grievous. Nevertheless, afterward it yieldeth the peaceable fruit of the righteousness unto them which were exercised thereby. Therefore lift up the hands which hang down, and the feeble knees. Make straight paths for your feet, lest that which is lame be turned out of the way, but let it rather be healed. Follow peace with all men, and holiness, without which no man shall see the Lord. Looking diligently, lest any man fail of the grace of God, lest any root of bitterness spring up trouble you, and thereby many be defiled. Lest there be any fornicator or profane person, as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. For ye know how that afterward, when he would have inherited the blessing, he was rejected, for he found no place of repentance, though he sought it carefully with tears. For ye are not come unto the mount that might be touched, and that burned with fire, nor unto blackness, and darkness, and tempest, and the sound of a trumpet, and the voice of words, which voice they that heard entreated that the word should not be spoken to them any more. For they could not endure that which was commanded, and if so much as a beast touch the mountain, it shall be stoned, or thrust through with a dart. And so terrible was the sight, that Moses said, I exceedingly fear and quake. But ye are come unto Mount Sion, and unto the city of the living God, the heavenly Jerusalem, and to an innumerable company of angels, to the general assembly and church of the firstborn, which are written in heaven, and to God the judge of all, and to the spirits of just men made perfect, and to Jesus the mediator of the new covenant, and to the blood of sprinkling, that speaketh better things than that of Abel. See that ye refuse not him that speaketh, for if they escaped not who refused him that spake on earth, much more shall not we escape, if we turn away from him that speaketh from heaven, whose voice then shook the earth. But now he hath promised, saying, Yet once more I shake not the earth only, but also heaven. And this word, yet once more, signifieth the removing of those things that are shaken, as of things that are made, that those things which cannot be shaken may remain. Wherefore we, receiving a kingdom which cannot be moved, let us have grace, whereby we may serve God acceptably with reverence and godly fear, for our God is a consuming fire.